It is truly impossible to be fully happy if you're not healthy, wealthy. We both started on the trail together because it's safer that way. We both got to the bottom of the mountain together. However, we are both at different levels. I was a little bit more of a risk taker, a little bit more advanced. And I said, hey, I'm going to go the harder route. He said he's going to go the easier route. Cool, no big deal. We both had plans to meet up at the summit. So as I went left, he went right. Now the day started out late and we got to the base a little bit late. So by the time we already got climbing, it was a little later in the day that we wanted. And around 4:30, about halfway up the mountain, I knew I wasn't making progress fast enough to where we're gonna have enough light for us to meet at the top and go back down. So at that moment, I had a decision to make. I could down climb from that point. However, both my friend and I said we were gonna meet at the top. And I am committed to whatever I say, no matter what. No matter rain, shine, or no sunshine, I'm gonna meet you on the summit. If we said we're gonna meet there, I'm gonna meet you there. So around 6:30, I summited and the sun goes down at around 7:30. I could already see it start to go down. I could already start to see the cresting. Because I was on top of the mountain, I could see literally the crest, right? I could see it start to already go down in the valley a little bit. So there I am at the top of the mountain, screaming my friend's name, running basically in the direction that I knew he would be coming from. I did that for about a half an hour, looked everywhere, screamed, hey, screamed his name, couldn't find him. Then I had another decision to make. Spend the night alone by myself on top or down climb in the dark. It was dusk already and I said, you know what? Let's get it. Let's go. So I started the down climb and I started moving as quickly as I possibly could while staying safe. And at some point I got to a place where I was rim robbed. And if you don't know what that is, it's where you can't go up, you can't go down, you can't go side to side. Now, I was already breathing fast. I was already working hard because first of all, I just climbed up for the past 4 hours. Now I'm down climbing as fast and as safe as I possibly can. Something that took me 4 hours to summit took me 25 minutes to down climb. And I'm so close, I can see the ground, but I'm about 100 feet off. And I can't see it way down. Logic would suggest to find a way immediately, to keep looking, to keep going, to do this, to do that, to try different ways. However, at that point, I knew that logic was actually being illogical. And if I was going to be logical, I must do the logical thing and stop. I must stop and center. Find the center. Find the eye in the middle of the hurricane. I knew in that moment that I had to stop and meditate, stop and put myself in a trance. And that is exactly what I did. It seemed so counterintuitive. My mind was racing the first couple minutes. Like, why are you standing? What are you doing? Why are you sitting still? You're losing light. You're not going to be able to see. You're not going to be able to climb down. You're going to need to be rescued. Oh my God, you're going to be that silly person that needed to be rescued on top of the mountain. Slow down. Let go. Let go. Let go. Find peace. Find center. I am love. I am peace. I am light. I am love. I am peace. I am light. I am love. I am peace. I am light. Now in Latin, amore, pace, luce. Amore, pace, luce. I just kept the mantra until I did have peace, until I did have center. And when I opened up my eyes, the most peculiar thing happened. After a couple minutes, it seemed that my eyes actually adjusted to the darkness. And I was able to see much more clear than I was before. Curious? But then something else happened. And I saw a little ledge. Now, it was about a foot long, and it was running down about 80 feet or so. After a little bit, I saw a ledge to a ledge to a ledge. What I really saw was a way out if I had patience, composure, and I maintained my wherewithal, because it was a sharp ledge to another very sharp ledge that ran for about 60 feet, that was only about a foot wide, that had a 80 to 100 foot fall. So I slid down the ledge, I hit that other ledge, and I slid down that other ledge. And in between the two ledges, there was about a 30-foot fall towards a sandy bottom. But on either side, it was covered by really thick bushes with thorns this thick. And as I slid down the ledge, I hit the edge, I jumped, and I tucked and rolled when I hit the bottom, like I was taught in training. However, when I popped up, I heard all of the water spilling out of my camelback, and I instantly grabbed my hose, grabbed it before all of the water spilled, because I was in the high desert. And there was no way I was losing any more water, because I didn't know when I was going to see civilization next. I didn't know what was next. I knew I was close, and I knew it was in the ground. I knew that even if I don't find my friend, I'll find the road, because I saw cars earlier. After my meditation, I also saw cars in the direction that I needed to head. So I headed that direction, and a quarter mile later, I flagged down a car that took me to the campground, and there I found my friend. And he said he was so happy to see me and figured that I would have turned around when I saw the light going down. But I am committed, I am passionate, and I am committed. If we make a plan, I'm gonna see it through. That's why I built these systems. They're foolproof. If you work these structures, they will work. These practices are absolute. There's zero way to fail if you trust the process. And the process is very simple. It's foundational steps that build on top of another. There are 12 different legs that form 4 different triads that all play and work together. They're mind, body, soul, stretch, train, play, health, wealth, peace, and assess, center, and elevate. They're all uniquely structured and can work individually, but the power comes in when you integrate and combine them. The truth is, they are meant to help you achieve your life's purpose. And if you don't know what it is, they're here to help you find it and then harness it. Because if you're on this plane of existence, you are here for a reason. And if you are here still, then you are definitely here for a reason. I'm so excited for you. Take that next step, take that next leap, connect, let's get it, let's go, because you are so close. I can feel it. I know I've been where you are. Hundreds, thousands of my students have been where you are. Hundreds, thousands of my students and partners have been where you are and have seen the other side and now are living their life's purpose. Now, these seem simple. However, the simplest things are the hardest things to do consistently. And those are the ones that give you the biggest returns compounded over time. For example, health. You're going to implement simple breathing and meditation techniques that are also fun to practice and play with. They're fun to implement and elevate. So that way you keep growing and compounding. Because it's hard to be healthy if you're not wealthy. And peace, because it's hard to be healthy and wealthy if you're not peaceful. And it's definitely impossible to be happy if you're not all three together. It is truly impossible to be fully happy if you're not healthy, wealthy, and peaceful. That is why so many people struggle to find happiness. Forget trying to find happiness. Achieve maximum health, cultivate wealth, and harness peace, and you will be happy. It's simple, but it's not easy, and that's why we have the team, the structures, and the support to help you, to guide you through this. and to make sure that we all do this together because it's more fun. Mind, body, soul, because once again, it's fully integrated. Your mind, because we want to make sure you stay as healthy, as functioning, as mind elevating as long as you possibly can. That is why body is incorporated. How are you treating your body? How are you exercising? How are you stretching? What are you really doing? Are you giving to yourself? And of course, you can't have true connection without the soul. It ties it all together. Stretch, train, play is probably my favorite triad and system. Because when we stretch, we grow. When we train, we put in that hard work. It tells the universe, God, the source, universal intelligence. It tells other people and ourselves that we are ready, that we are worth it, that we can do what it takes. And then we wrap that all in a blanket of play. So that way everything's enjoyable, everything's gamified. The hard things become fun. That way you get to play at what you struggled at before. That's where you get to play at changing diapers, play at cleaning, play at working. And when everything becomes play, your life becomes so much more fulfilling, so much more fun. And to wrap it all nicely together, we have assess, center, and elevate. Because we got to look at ourselves. We got to do a little introspective evaluation, because if we don't analyze where we're coming from, it's hard to know where we're going. And then give yourself that peace. Give yourself that time to center. Give yourself that freedom. And then anchor it all together, really tie it all together, really apply transformative growth like Kaizen, like 95-5 rule, and a lot of others. If you're still watching this, this is 111% meant for you. So take the step, connect, let's get it, let's go. You know this is Russ Nikita. I'll see you in the next one. Let's go.